calls coming from inside the house. Could it be an urban legend?
What is up, Nerd Detectives? Welcome to another episode of Whiskey and a Mystery. I am your host, Blake, Monty Blakeweather, the world's most okayest detective. How is everybody doing out in podcast land? I hope y'all are doing great. I hope y'all are doing fantastic, marvelous, all the good things, all the positive vibes, as the kids are saying. As you know, every episode we're talking about a different movie. Today, we're talking all about... You guys know I have a special affinity for slasher whodunits, with doing all the Scream breakdowns, just dropping the I Know What You Did Last Summer breakdown. This is one of the ones that I've wanted to cover for such a long time, and likely will still do an Every Clue video in the future, but it's not today. But you guys know the rules. You guys know how this works. We're bringing on a whiskey geek, but before we get to who our guests are, let's go ahead and go through the rules of how this show works. First of all, our whiskey geeks come on and they have to pick a whiskey that's $45 or less and is super findable for everybody out there. So that way you can have a chance to go ahead and enjoy the whiskey that they recommend for this movie. We'll go ahead and talk about the movie. And rule number 2, at the end of this episode, they will go ahead, come on, and make an expert pick about which whiskey will go with this movie. No price limits, no allocation limits, maybe a bit harder to find, maybe a bit more money out of the pocketbook. But if you're a whiskey fan, it's probably going to be something for you to hunt for. If you're new to whiskey, it might be something you've never even heard of, which is awesome. So with all that in mind, let's go ahead and get into tonight's guests. Tonight's guests are the hosts of Barrel Hunters here in Austin, Texas. Personal friends of mine, very nice fellas, amazing whiskey collections and amazing whiskey knowledge. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Ryan and Eddie of Barrel Hunters. What's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
Oh, excited to be here, bud.
Oh, you don't have to. What's up, man? You don't have to lie to me, Eddie. I know you told me earlier. You're like, man, I'm trying to watch Seinfeld or something, bro. I'm trying to be here, bro.
You should see what I'm wearing under this shirt. All right. It's just my underwear. I'm just ready to rock and roll and sit down, watch a movie or two.
Weenie the Pooed it. He came on just a shirt and underwear. That's my COVID workout, my COVID work uniform in 2020. How did you know, first of all? But before we get into all these secrets, fellas, how long have y'all been into whiskey? I always love to hear everybody's backstory. We'll start with Ryan because he's right next to me.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it goes back to college. So probably about 15, 20 years now. God, that's ridiculous. But it wasn't anything big. I started out drinking Macallan. I liked it. I got into it a little more. And then within the past, I'd say 5 or 6 years, I've started getting really into it, starting building a collection. And, some of the collection you can see behind me, some of it's out in the other room, but that's where we are today.
Love to hear it, man. Eddie, talk to me about your bourbon journey, your whiskey journey. Where did it all start? Where were you as a young kid with your first bottle of whiskey? Tell all the fans.
So I was 12 years old, and I was on a cruise with my family, and I was just trying to find some way to, get some drinks in an affordable way. And they were doing a whiskey tasting. And for $10, I think it was, you get to do a whole pairing where you could, try 5 or 6 different whiskeys and kind of, tell the differences, the similarities, etc. And when I did that, that was my first time of, really experiencing how different whiskeys can be. And that's really when I got into it. That's when I started just doing research and finding out how they pair with foods. And probably, I would say maybe 10 years ago or so, that I was really starting to pick it up more and get excited about it and host my own tastings and food pairings and stuff. So that's pretty much how I got started.
Dang, dude, you said food pairings. What's a good recommendation for like a nice little filet mignon, as the kids say?
Well, filet mignon, I would say pairs really nicely with a bourbon, just because of the peppery and caramel notes. Maybe like a
Mm.
high rye
Ooh,
bourbon. If you want to go with fish or like smoked salmon, for example, or any sort of cold sushi, I think Lafroig from Scotland. It's an Islay Scotch. It's very peaty, and that pairs incredibly well. Even if you don't like peaty scotches, that one pairs incredibly well. That's honestly one of my go-tos when I want to do any sort of food pairings with whiskey.
nice. All right. So next time I buy some salmon, I'll buy some Lafroy, and if I hate it, you're going to pay me back. That's what's going to happen.
That's fine. I'll pay you back. I'll keep the bottle.
Yeah, you get to keep the bottle. Yeah, that's part of the deal. You get to keep the bottle, but I'm getting my money back somehow. But fellas, before we get into initial thoughts about this movie, you know what it is. What is y'all's whiskey pick for this movie, Urban Legend?
So for our pick tonight, we are going to go with Larceny Small Batch.
Ooh, I got one of
And
those.
there's a reason. Oh, look at that.
Ooh, tell me the reason. I'm going to open up this bottle.
So this one has an interesting backstory. There was a U.S. Treasury agent named John Fitzgerald who was guarding the rick houses where the bourbons were being aged. And some of the barrels that they found later on were suspiciously light. Come to find out, he had been stealing his personal favorite barrels and just drinking them. And so his name is what inspired the old Fitzgerald line, and then eventually what inspired Larceny. Now, the reason we chose it is because the movie has sort of a theme of betrayal, and
Ooh.
his job as a U.S. Treasury agent was to guard the barrels, and instead he ended up stealing from them.
Wow, what a good connection there. I haven't opened my bottle, and I'm very excited. And I had slightly heard the story, but I just heard, I'm like, oh, there was a guy and he stole some whiskey, and that's why they call it larceny, because it's larceny. It's just like, all right. And then when you explained it, I'm like, well, my, how the turns have tabled. You know what I mean? But let's go ahead. Let's see if we can get a good crack right here. Oh, here we go.
Oh,
that sounded fantastic.
That was captured live. I'm a professional now. Professional drinker now, ladies and gentlemen.
I love that. That's something that we do in our channel, is that we kind of, we started rating how the cork pop sounds when you pop it open. And we always love it when there's a good cork pop and you just hear, that's strong. I like it.
Sure sign of a good time. All right, let me go into this. Let me smell it around a little bit. Oh, okay. Lots of wood notes right there. Lots of like oakiness. Man, is that like I feel like there's some sort of like dark fruit marinating in there. I don't know. Maybe like a dark cherry, but it's not a dark cherry. Maybe like a plum or something.
Yeah, to me, I get a little bit of cherry cola.
Okay,
is what I get. But everybody's nose is just so different. It's almost like fingerprints, where everybody's like nose is what's the word? Olfactory, right? I'm terrible.
Olfactory.
Yeah, that's what it is. All right, you thanks, Ryan, for the save.
Have more of this.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go in on this. This looks nice. Let's go in. Cheers, fellers. Oh, look at Eddie.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, okay. That's definitely, I get a lot of that weediness from it. I mean, it is a weeded bourbon. I get a lot of like that sort of sweet wheat that I would expect like in a Weller or even like 1972 sweet wheat. Easy drinker right there. And it's like no burn, which I love. What is this? It's 92 proof. Should be no burn.
Yeah, that's a good everyday sipper. I think that's a good choice, and it's affordable, easy to find. And it's incredibly enjoyable.
Yeah, this reminds me of like a little like sweet bread, like Mexicans, like some pan dulce or something like that, like a nice little sweet bread flavor to it. I am a fan. This is very good, and lots of oakiness. That's nice right there. Well, fellas, this is Money Blake approved. I enjoy this. Let's hop right into this movie. You guys already said why you picked this whiskey. Give me some initial thoughts on this watch. We'll start with Eddie since we started with Ryan last time. Eddie, was this your first time? Was this your other time? What did you think about this going back to this for this breakdown?
Yeah, it was a blast for the past for me. I had watched it in the movie theaters, and I hadn't watched it since. I remembered who the killer was because, I guess full spoilers now, right?
Yeah, spoiler alert. If you're watching this still and you're just trying to figure out like if you should watch it, this ain't the breakdown. We're full spoiler alerts ahead. Go ahead, Eddie.
Yeah, so there's something about the actress that really just, her eyes, I mean, they're piercing, right? So I remembered her clearly that she was in this movie and that she was the killer.
Rebecca Gayheart. Yeah.
Rebecca Gayheart, exactly. Yeah. And she, I don't know. That just kind of stuck with me. The rest of the movie, I didn't really remember a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that the killer was theming it based off of urban legends, but that was the extent of what I remembered, and then as I start watching the video, the movie, I start remembering what happened, like why she was the one killing, but it was fun. It's such a 90s movie too, like you had the guy from Dawson's Creek, Joshua Jackson, and then of course the song blares out when he turns on the car.
What a great meta moment right there. And he's like, ugh, and he turns it off. Such a great moment right there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he was like, "Oh no." Yeah, it was. It was fun. It was a fun movie. Like there was a lot of fun moments. I really loved something that I didn't catch when I was younger was Brad Dourif in the very beginning.
Oh right, Chucky himself. Yeah,
Chucky himself, and not only Chucky, but he also played Billy Bibbit from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
movie role.
That's right. Yeah,
and he had a stutter in that movie.
In that movie, yep.
So it kind of just ties both things together that made him famous,
mm-hmm.
and this one character. So I thought that was really neat.
Yeah, and Robert Englund, Freddy himself from the New Nightmare and all the Freddy movies, Nightmare on Elm Streets. Well, awesome thoughts, Ryan. What about you? What was some initial thoughts coming off this movie?
So funny story. When we had initially talked about this movie, I'm like, you know what? I've watched every freaking horror movie, that kind of 90s thing from that genre. And I'm like, I don't think I've seen this one. So I'm like, I need to watch this one. Right. So I'm telling Eddie, like, yeah, I got to watch it. I mean, I've never seen it before. So we're not even 2 minutes into the movie. And I see the cast all gathered in the cafe. And I'm like, wait a minute. I recognize her. She's the killer. I was like, I've seen this before. I just have no recollection of ever watching it.
That's hilarious.
Pieces of it made sense later, but I remember her, kind of like Eddie said, how she's very memorable. Mm-hmm. But I didn't remember watching that movie at all.
That reminds me of like Lord of the Rings, Gandalf, when he's in the cave.
I have no memory of this place.
And you're like, well, you've been here before, dude. Like, but continue, man. All right, so you didn't remember watching it, but you did remember watching it. You're like, there's something subliminally in my head that I've seen this.
Yeah, like as soon as I saw her, I'm like, oh my god, I remember her. She's the killer. Like that, like with the jacket, with the hood, mm-hmm. Like I remember her in that, and I'm like, okay, I have seen this. I just need to watch it again to remember what actually happened.
And we'll get right into it, but there's a lot of highs and lows between figuring out who did it, or that she did it, that Rebecca Gayheart was the killer, and everything that happened in between. Ryan, let's start off with you, man. Give me some highs about this movie, or one of your highs about this movie.
I like that they had a lot of red herrings in the movie. They threw a lot of different people at you that could have done it.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't, I wouldn't say it was obvious, but it kind of leaned that way, but they gave you a lot of red herrings to kind of throw you off the scent. So I thought that was one of the highs where they did a good job of kind of misdirection.
Yeah, it was a good job of like pointing to it could have been this person, or it is this person. Where was that person when this thing? What's going on? And then even till the end, I did like a lot of the misdirections that they did. And for me, it didn't feel like too much, because I remember the first time I watched it, I wasn't as as informed about murder mysteries as I am now. I do remember even enjoying it on the rewatch when I rewatched this. Well, we watched it a few months ago, but in anticipation in the last few days for this, like I was just like, yeah, this works, and like you don't really know till the very end. So I love that. Eddie, give me a high from you, man.
Man, to me, the high is the cast. I thought that it was pretty awesome seeing all these big names. You know, again, Rebecca Gayheart. You had Brad Dourif. You had Freddy Krueger. You had a young Jared Leto, a young Tara Reid. It was just fun. Joshua Jackson. You know, like everybody in there. You know, they're big names now, and it was fun to see them all in this movie. And I thought that it was just the camp really worked. You know, the camp. It was just a fun movie. It was fun slasher movie.
Yeah, it's like they got the rookie card. These murder mysteries in the 90s, these slasher murder mysteries. This one, I Know What You Did Last Summer, Scream. They capture like these like rookie cards of people, like you said, Joshua Jackson, Michael Rosenbaum, right? Lex Luthor from the WB, right? From that Superman show. I mean, he's in there. Of course, Jared Leto, Rebecca Gayheart. Even they try to put her in everything. There, she was in this. She was in Scream 2, just like Joshua Jackson. She was in Jawbreaker. Like they put her in literally everything when she was young. It's like this all-star. And then to have Loretta Devine as the security officer, and she's absolutely hilarious.
Jesus, you're trying to get me a heart attack here.
Boo.
And so again, all those folks, and then again to go back to, was it Brad Dourif and Robert Englund, to have them in here, like the cast is like, it's nice. And that's what I like about movies like this. When it's a murder mystery whodunit style, the more names that you have, the more less likely you are to guess who the killer is, because you're like, well, they got a name, so it's gonna have to be. But then you're like, ooh, they got a name, and they got a name. There's a whole bunch of names. Like, well, then who could it be? You know. So I sort of definitely love that element, and I touched on a high. Speaking about this movie, which is Loretta Devine as Reese, the security officer, like she kills it. She kills it from top to bottom. Every scene that she's in, absolutely hilarious. Being the, rent-a-cop security officer that she is, watching, was it like Foxy Brown or something like that in her office, the old Pam Grier movie, and she's got her gun out and she's like acting out the scenes. It's hilarious. And also too very much plays that, Girl Who Cried Wolf with, the main gal who's like, yo, like this dude, Damon like got, stole it. He got killed. And she's like, come on, baby. Like, that's not what it is. Like, you guys were drinking beer out here. Like, what drugs are you on?
Right.
Like that whole scene, that whole bit is great. But yeah, I think so far we're in agreement about the cast. Ryan, give me another high.
Man, so the cast was going to be mine too. And to throw in one more name on that one is in the opening scene with the gas station attendant. He had a pretty big role in Lord of the Rings too.
Oh, it's right. He was Grima Wormtongue.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Recognized him immediately. Looked like that slimy kind of character, you know?
And in this one, he's not. Like, that's what's kind of cool. They kind of were like, you remember him from Chucky? Well, he's not bad in this movie. He's actually a good guy. But immediately you suspect him of like being trifling, being a real bad guy. So yeah, I like that, man.
Yeah, you know what I found funny about it is that the only thing that was odd about him is that he had a stutter. You know what I mean? That was enough for this girl to get freaked out by him, to pepper spray him, to break his window. I was like, what the hell? Like, he didn't do anything. He's just stuttering, and you're all of a sudden, calling him a creep and, abusing him. I don't know. I just felt like that wouldn't fly today.
I was going to say, a sign of the times in the 90s, if you were different and you had some sort of handicap, you're like, oh, you have to be a bad guy. Like, you are not good. You do not belong in society, and you've probably done something bad.
Credit card company's on the phone.
Is there a problem?
Nowadays, again, that shit wouldn't fly. That's not that I think we're all socially aware. Like, some people have impediments, and we have to kind of, work together to help them out. But back then, they were just like, no, you're bad and you have a stutter. Like, it's the most horrible thing ever. But like, it's comical to look back and be like, oh my God, you pepper sprayed him for having a stutter. Like, this is horrible, dude. What's wrong with you? Ryan, were you done with your high? Or did I cut you off?
No, I'll finish my thought there. One thing I will add is having Jared Leto as a good guy. You know, he normally plays that kind of like freaky role. Like I forget the name of the movie where he was in with a bunch of like teenagers. Requiem for a Dream, I think it was.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, him and Marlon Wayans and Jennifer Connelly.
Yeah, and then of course he was in the Dallas Buyers Club and a bunch of others where he plays somebody kind of off.
Fight Club. He played. I guess his name was Angel in the movie, and he ends up getting beat up or whatever. Yeah, he tends to play some odd characters. They play the Joker.
Yeah,
let's not forget that.
Yeah,
we wish we could, but we can't.
And Morbius.
We want to forget that one. That is to be stricken from the record. I'm going to edit that part out of this podcast because no one wants to remember Morbius. You have just traumatized all of us, and we've just gone through a flood. So congratulations, Ryan.
All right.
Have a drink, buddy.
Speaking of drink, Eddie, your time to take a sip and let us know what a good little high was from this movie. Another one from you.
All right. Well, another high for me was just the overall idea that they're following urban legends to kill. You know what I mean? Like this girl was. I thought that was really interesting because she already had a motive, but it wasn't just a motive. And now it's like, okay, well now every kill has to happen with an urban legend, which I thought that was really unique. So that would be another high, I would say. And again, it's just a 90s factor. I was born in the 80s. I'm a 90s kid, and I was a teenager when this movie came out. I watched it in the movie theater, and it was just, I enjoyed those times. Those were fun times. Yeah. You know what I mean? People weren't so uptight. People didn't, things didn't matter so much as they do now. And it was fun. It's just, it's a fun movie. Guys with stutters are getting pepper sprayed and, kicked down and, getting their property vandalized, and then the girl's head gets cut off. And then it cuts to Tara Reid.
Felicia, I think the only thing you need pumped is the air out of your head.
Oh yeah,
doing this phallic sort of movement with her microphone, talking about giving sex advice to some caller in a radio station. Those are the 90s. All right, that's what I remember from the 90s.
When you could have sex therapists on campus on your college radio, just giving everybody sex advice. Yeah, the good old days when times were good. To your point, I was going to say a lot of the kills in here, they had some good creative kills. The Joshua Jackson one where he's technically the killer didn't kill him, homegirl killed him. And that was interesting. The kill when Michael Rosenbaum, first of all, his dog, the way his dog died, oh my God, horrific. That's a creative kill though. But you can't, I don't know the last time that I've even seen a killer actually kill a pet. How horrific. In the 90s though, that was all the rave, all the rage, everybody was killing everybody's pet. 187. You've ever seen the movie 187? Samuel L. Jackson, he gets his dog dies because they hang it from the gate just by the chain, and so the dog ends up suffocating, and you're like, oh my God, you showed this? They didn't show the act, but you see the aftermath and you're like, oh my goodness. I think the last one I remember is James Brolin in American Hustle. I guess it was what it was, the one with Denzel Washington where he plays the drug guy. There's that scene where James Brolin goes and he's looking for the money. They're searching through the guy's house, and he goes outside to the dog, and the dog's barking. He shoots him, but you're like, oh my God, you killed a dog! What are you doing? So yeah, this feels like the age and time where you kill somebody's dog and it's horrific, but there's not outrage. But nowadays, you mess with somebody's hamster, you mess with somebody's fish. There's so much outrage. All that to say, creative kills. Michael Rosenbaum's kill is quite creative, a quite creative take on the pop rocks with the soda. That was interesting, even though it was pop rocks and bleach or cleaning whatever, Drano or whatever. That's interesting. The one where the dean, I guess, gets ran over by his own car on the spikes. Geez, bro, whoever I mean, the killer, Rebecca, like creative. You're just thinking creative. Like, what are you doing at home? Like, what music are you listening to make you think, like, you know, it'd be interesting for the dean. Like, he's going to run over himself with his own car. He's going to run us some spikes and it's going to be great. Just wild kills in this movie. I feel like we're giving this movie too much praise, though. Ryan, I want to hear a low from you, though. We can always go back to the highs, but I want to hear a nice little Garth Brooks, Friends in Low Places low right here.
All right. Well, here's a low. Why didn't she die? Why does she keep coming back? Like, how is she immortal? Is she an Avenger? Like, what the hell? How does she keep surviving? She had some nasty falls. I think she drowned. She got shot in all kinds of places. Like, how do you keep coming back?
Why won't you die?
Let's cut to a clip real quick of her coming back real quick.
Okay, listen up, guys. Because this is how the story really goes.
Yeah, dude, she survived so much. Getting shot, falling, and then flying through the windshield, flying into the water. Like, you almost got drowned. You almost got, you know, falling down from like, it's pretty tall. It seemed like a pretty big house. And then you got shot. Like, who is your doctor? Like, who is your nurse? Like, and who is treating you? Like, what are they doing? What Pokemon potion are they giving you? So that way you come back at the end of the movie and you look just healthy. You look good. You look like you're ready for another round with these fools. Like, what a good low right there. Eddie, give me a low.
I will say overall, it's a bit derivative as creative, and we just gave up praise for how creative the kills were and the theme behind it, given that it's all, you know, urban legends. But the movie itself, I feel like it is pretty derivative at a time when, you know, these movies were so popular. Obviously, Scream popularized it, and then this seems like a kind of a knockoff to Scream. So that would be a low for me.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the age, right, where like literally 96 Scream 1 comes out, 97 Scream 2, I Know What You Did Last Summer come out, 98 this comes out, 2000 the part 2 of this comes out. Like, it was just back to back. 2001 Valentine comes out by the same director, mind you. It's just this back to back, like, slasher whodunit, like who's the killer? He's human, but like which one of us, and what's the reason? Why does this person want it? And even 2001 Scream 3, like, geez, that's just ones off the top of my head. Like, I'm sure there were other ones that, like, I'm not even mentioning. But yeah, I could completely see that. Like, Hollywood saw it. They're like, I mean, you know, kind of, you know, teenage college kids, like, killers coming after them. Who doesn't love that idea? Like, it's making a lot of money, you know. It does feel a bit like Returning to the Well, and it's just a different variation of Returning to the Well. I will say this to your point. I don't think that the leading actress, I think her name's Alicia Witt. She seems like a good actress, but like, I don't know. She's my you know, what they call it, final girl, final gal, the one that makes it to the end. Like, I don't know if she's for me that. Like, I didn't. There were scenes where I was like, how is Tara Reid out acting you in this scene right now? You're supposed to be the leading lady. And like, there's scenes where like, it looks like she's like wants to cry all the time. And you're like, bro, get a grip, dude. Like, it's same thing happens with Neve Campbell or Julia Louis-Hewitt in their respective movies. Like, they're going through similar things, and neither at all the time do they want to cry. At least they're trying to hold it together. So I thought that was like a little too leaned into. And I don't know. I didn't buy her as my, you know, the horror movie final gal. And if they're selling it, I'm not buying it. The rest of everything else, didn't have a problem with that casting, but that sort of threw me off, especially when you're supposed to be the hero of the movie and sort of lead the charge to the rest of the film. There's a couple scenes there I just like, I'm not buying what you're selling. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, that's definitely a low for me. Ryan, give me another low. Oh, it was just that good. You just can't think of a low. It was just that good. That's how good it was, man. Ryan loves this movie.
All right. No, I'm going to go back to, I'm going to counterpoint your deaths before. You specifically talked about the Dean's death. I thought that was a little bit much. Like,
okay.
Get out of the way of the car. Why are you crawling in the same direction as the car? Like, just move, just side to side.
Have you ever had your
it's like-
Achilles? Have you ever had your Achilles cut? You haven't, Ryan. You can't be talking shit about the dean. You can't be doing this shit, man.
He was crawling just fine straight. Just pivot. Just like the couch, right? Pivot, right? It's like
That-
those people
no,
who
yeah.
run straight across the battlefield. Like, dude, zigzag, you know?
It reminds me of Charlize Theron. I guess it was Alien Prometheus when like the ship is falling down and it's literally going straight. And all she has to do, she's running pretty fast. If she just cut an angle, if she just did the post, what we called in football, you just sort of take the angle and then cut across. I think you'd be alive, Charlize Theron. And I'm going to tell the camera, I think you'd be alive, Charlize Theron, in Prometheus. I think you would have survived that. Or you would have at least made it to the next stage to fight the alien. I think you would have done that. So yeah, no, it's a good point. I do, to defend my stance on that, because it's too, you can't be that logical in these movies. Like, of course, like just move out of the way. But every movie that I've seen so far, you know, Scream, I Know What You Did Last Summer, there's always like a stupid fun kill, like that shouldn't work, don't make no sense. In Scream, I always bring up the example of Tatum in the garage. Like, that garage door would not have gone up. It would have, in fact, just come back down. But it carries her tiny little self and it cracks her head. But you're like, bro, that thing, my garage door doesn't even go. Like, I touch it, it's like, and then it comes back down, and you're like, see, that would have not have worked. I think in I Know What You Did Last Summer. Maybe it was in the second one. Yeah, that would have not. I think maybe it was even Mekhi Phifer. If I'm thinking about it. He gets gutted, but like you're like, where was the killer? Like, how's he behind? That doesn't make no sense. That's stupid, but kind of looks fun. This for that was that equivalent, right? Like, okay, you know, he's getting ran over by the cars, getting spiked up. Like, that's what slashers are about. These creative kills, but also you're like, just barrel roll, bro. Just turn, just turn. It's gonna be out of the way. You won't, you know, it's not gonna get you. So, fair point. Eddie, second low here, man.
Oh man, this is the lowest of my lows. But before I go there, I do wanna talk about Ryan's point for a second there. He was walking, he was crawling straight into the spikes. Like, what was the purpose of him walking towards the spike, or not walking, but crawling towards the spikes? Like, he deserved to die at that point. You know? It's almost like he wanted. I think he wanted to die. Honestly, I think that at that point he was like, you know what, this is it. I've had a good life. I'm old. I'm tired. This is it. This is the way I'm gonna go.
In the words of that meme, "Fuck them kids," right? He's just like, I'm done. Yeah. I'm done with these critters. Like, leave me be.
Right.
Yeah, maybe it was self-inflicted. Who knows? We'll come back to that. Ryan, you had before Eddie's turn, you had one more low in your revolver in your back pocket. I want to hear it.
Yeah. Okay. At the end, when the security guard is calling 911 and they're somehow too busy to show up, like, you're in the state of Maine. What the hell is happening in Maine? Nothing. Where 911 should not be busy. Come on, get out of here.
They're handling a Stephen King case, I guess, because they're in Maine. You know, that's something for the horror fans out there. You guys get that joke. If you don't, go chat GPT it. I'm very funny with that joke. It's very funny. Yeah, that must be what they're doing. That is a good call out, because it's like, bro, it's a college, bro. Would you come help? Come, these kids, come do something. Come do your jobs. Come on, man. Eddie.
Yes.
We're finally ready for yours.
Oh, there we go. This is the lowest for me of the entire movie. And that is the motive that Rebecca Gayheart's character has. I understand it. She lost her boyfriend. I get it. But here's the thing. The movie starts with her killing the girl who was directly responsible for the death of her boyfriend. The movie should be over at that point. She literally killed the person that killed her boyfriend. So what the hell was the rest of everything for? You know what I mean? Like, why was the end game to kill the girl who was in the passenger seat?
She wanted revenge all the way. It's Jingle All the Way, except she wanted revenge all the way, you know?
I guess so.
That's the only thing I can think of that. Yeah, you're right. Like, it should be game over. You win. End of roll credits, right? Just roll credits. And also too, that's a nice, one of the things I like, that just to go back to that intro of her doing that. If that was made into a short movie, like a short film, much like the beginning of like Scream 1 or Scream 2, I love how it's like a short movie to set you up for the rest of the movie, like to set the tone. of it. I love that in concept, but when you bring up, you're like, right, like motivation wise, like you've already championed your win. Like, what more are you doing? Like,
you won. Yeah. I think that if they would have switched it out where the passenger was the one that died in the first death.
Right.
And then the person who was driving the car was the end game, was the main girl. Then at that point, to me, that makes a little bit more sense. And she could give like a reason why she did it. And, maybe she was forced to, or I don't know, it was a stupid prank that went wrong.
Yeah.
But it just feels like the stakes are so much higher if the end game is to kill the girl who killed the boyfriend accidentally, but you already, offed her in the first 5 minutes of the movie. So what was the rest of it for?
You got the gold medal. What are you going for silver for? Like,
yeah, exactly. Right. If like that was the case.
Maybe the first girl had no friends.
Ooh, maybe she was not that popular. Like she wanted to make this other girl suffer. I feel like Ryan wrote the movie and he's just like, wait a minute, I promise you, there's a good reason.
Hold up.
Hear me out. Wait a minute. Let me explain.
The other side of the computer in Ryan's office there has a huge poster of Urban Legend, just in case you're wondering.
It's all signed too. This now makes sense. Ryan's left the episode now. Cut to a clip of the movie then.
The idea of an urban legend serial killer. It's a stretch.
Yeah. There go my royalties.
You're making money now with all the Amazon that we've been spending probably renting this movie, or that people will do out there. So hang on to it at least for another week. But to your point, I will say this: not quite the motivation, but kind of the motivation. My low is they have this whole urban legend about Pennington Hall or whatever, Pennington College and the whatever hall, and there was a killer 25 years ago and he killed everybody. Was it true? Was it not true? And we never really figure out if it's true or not true. Kind of we do, kind of we don't. Like somebody was there and like maybe one person died, whatever. But like that has shit to do with the plot. Like it has nothing to do with anything. Like and to the point of they think that all the killings are related to this murder anniversary, right? And that kind of would have been really way better in this sense that everything was tied to something, because it's like, okay, they're investigating the other dean and they're going through the yearbooks and like they're just trying to do all this investigation work. And then all to find out, like by the end of it, they're like, oh my God, it's all related. And then by the end of it, Rebecca Gayheart's like, no, you killed my boyfriend. Like, I don't care about no urban. Like, I don't care about that. Like, this has to do with revenge. And you're like, what? For real? Like, and then she has a little slideshow PowerPoint showing everybody pictures of her boy. I was like, you set this up enough to set up a slideshow? The audacity. If somebody gave me a slideshow where they're going to kill me, I'm like, just kill me so I don't have to watch this bullshit. Like,
yeah,
just down me, dude. Like, like give it to me quick. Let's go. Take that kidney. I don't care, bro.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, the whole PowerPoint presentation seemed a little odd to me.
It's hilarious. It's a sign of the times too, right? She's doing it on a slideshow. Like nowadays, somebody would put a laptop in front of somebody's face or a phone and been like, "Here's my PowerPoint," and just press play. It reminds me of like in Hot Fuzz, right? In Hot Fuzz, he has this whole thing where he's like, oh, you killed this person because they were property, they were landowner, and the land was going to go to this gal, but then you killed this gal and the cousin gets it. I'm ruining Hot Fuzz without giving names. So if you haven't seen Hot Fuzz, just fast forward. He's trying to connect all these dots, and it's all about property and land and making sure that, a new shopping center is not being built. And they're like, that's not why we did it. We just did it because that person was annoying. That other dude didn't know how to spell in the newspaper. That other gal was going to leave, and she was a gardener, and she was our favorite, and we didn't want anybody to have her. And he's just like, what? Like, y'all are petty. You're petty, dude. Like, at least you could have done it for a reason, not just like, I didn't like them, so they're going to die.
Right.
In there, it works because it's a comedy. In here, again, we're like, what? You could have just killed the one person and graduated college. You could have done that.
Yeah, you got away with it. Yeah, exactly. The movie should have ended after the first 5 minutes. Honestly, at the end of the day, that girl was a jerk. You know, she hurt poor guy because again he had a stuttering issue. It's like, you know, maybe she deserved it. Maybe she had it coming. You know, she was not a nice person whatsoever. So did you notice that Rebecca Gayheart, her voice? You know, the killers in these types of movies always just all of a sudden go from like 0 to 100 when they reveal that they're the killers.
Oh yeah,
they just change. And they just act completely different, which drives me nuts. That's probably another low, a little bonus low for you. But her whole voice changed, her whole accent. She had like all of a sudden now this like Kentucky drawl that like I never heard before. And I'm like, what the hell is that? Like, where did this come from?
Still haven't figured it out, have you? Well, lucky for you, Miss Thing, I've got a visual aid.
I did kind of like that. Like for me, like the transformation of like, and full crazy too, because they let her hair out. And I think the hair sold it for me. I'm like, you're wacky, dude. And like her eyes, and she's just like, girlfriend, I'm about to tell you what the reason is. And it's just like, I love those transformations. Like for me, your low is I'm not giving a full high, but like a good mid. I like that. I like that when again, I'll go back to Scream, like when Billy and Stu revealed to be the killer and they get all wackadoodle, like that's fun. Like that for me, that's fun. When Rebecca Gayheart goes from like being the best friend and being, you know, hurt and being like, oh, you know, you can date Paul, you know, you're like, oh, poor Rebecca. Like, why you got to do that, homegirl? Why you got to kiss her boyfriend? That's not really her boyfriend yet. Why you got to do that? Why you got to hurt her like that? And then she turns out to be all crazy. Her eyes are what sells it at the end too. She's just like bug-eyed. And I was just like, bro, like you're crazy, dude. Yeah. But I mean, it might turn off some people, you know, like this. There's a reason this movie's not as highly thought up as you know, something like Scream or something like that. So
yeah, you know,
I get it.
To me, like the killers in Scream, specifically one, and honestly, all of them, you know, in some way you could see the transformation, but it doesn't seem as jarring. You know, like there was always the character of Stu. Was it Stu? In Scream,
Stu and Billy were the killers. So
yeah, exactly. But Stu in particular was a little bit unhinged from the beginning. Like he was just a little odd.
Yeah,
you know. Billy too, in his own different way. So then when they were when they revealed to be the killers, it almost went from like a 50 to 100.
You already suspected them. Yeah, you already suspected them. You're like, you're a little off. Huh?
Well, it was just like it was their personality turned up a notch.
Yeah,
Rebecca Gayheart literally just became a completely different character, and it was just like, well, how are you hiding this the entire time? Like, you're a completely different person, you know, different voice, different accent, you know. Yeah, their hair was all crazy, and I was just expecting her to just start yanking her hair out and having patches, and then maybe it was a weave underneath, and it was just like she just looked like a hot mess, you know.
That's the deleted scene right there.
Yeah, right. So Blake, I wanted to ask you, so you know, obviously you're the master of breaking down these movies and finding out who the killer is. Yeah. I know you said you're gonna do this in a future episode, so I don't want to get too into the weeds here, but
yeah,
were there, me watching it, I could suspect that she was the killer. You know, what I couldn't get at all until the very end of the movie was the motive. Do you feel like the movie just didn't present that well, or were there clues that you saw that I didn't that led you to believe that she could be the killer because her boyfriend or someone she knew died in that car accident?
You'll never know. So the thing with a lot of any murder mystery that I've ever seen is you never fully get the motive. You can get you can figure out who the killer is, but you never really know. You know it might be tied into something. So for instance, in Scream, they keep bringing up Sydney's dead mom, and Gail's like, well, Cotton's not the killer. Like they keep bringing up this backstory in the background, and it's this floating backstory, and you're just like, I don't know what the shit that's got. I guess that happened last year, and now Sydney's got trauma. I don't really know, but you would have never guessed that tied into Billy or Billy's dad at all. Like you would have never figured that out without him revealing that, like, oh, Sydney's mom slept with his dad and then his mom left. You're never going to know that. You would have never, there's no clues in here that indicate, and for rightly so, like Rebecca Gayheart's character, her ex-boyfriend died. If there was a line like, oh, my ex-boyfriend died 2 years ago, and then they revealed that the accident took place 2 years ago, at least there'd be that bridge of being like, huh, that's interesting, you know? Wasn't that? So no, the answer is no, that you would have not known. Just like in I Know What You Did Last Summer, like you kind of can figure out like, oh, this fisherman, his daughter died the year before, the year that everything happened. His name's Ben Willis, but like we haven't met any old people in this movie. So like, who is this guy? You don't know who it is until the very end. So there's certain things that happen in murder mysteries, and 9 times out of 10, it's like you can't tell what the motive is fully. You at least know it's tied to something, but there's usually a further backstory that the killer has to reveal, or in like traditional murder mysteries, the detective knows something that you don't. He always knows something you don't. He knows more about the background than you do, and he's at least put the background together as he's put together who the killer is. Where you could figure out the killer most times, that's never going to be you. So you just kind of, for me, I just kind of got to let it go. That's why it's every clue to solve who the killers are, and not necessarily every clue to solve what the motivation is, because you're just never given enough clues. I wait for the day when we're given enough clues to be like, oh yeah, I saw that one coming. Like it makes sense why. Like, okay, that's perfect. So hopefully that answers your questions. And to your point, there are a lot of clues in here, and a lot of them are deducting characters as the movie goes on to figure out like, well, that person wasn't here and that other person wasn't here, but then that person was there when that other thing happened. But then, okay, well, I think I could kind of piece 1 and 2 together to at least narrow it down to 1 or 2 people, and then we'll see who's still standing. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm going to go when I do the every clue breakdown. Also, I just ran off your favorite scene just happened where the Dean got ran over by his own car. So let's cut to a little clip of that right now. So to all that to say, no, you can't figure out the motivation. And yeah, there are. As I rewatched it first time in a long time a few months ago, I was like, ooh, shit, why didn't I see that before? Like, that's a good clue. Also, why does everybody have parkas in this movie? Every character has the same damn parka in this movie. Like, what y'all go shopping at the same store? Like, what is happening? Where y'all all have the same wardrobe? I'm super confused. It's not even, at least if there was a different color or something, they just all had the same color.
Yeah.
It was like back in the 90s when everybody had the same exact Charlotte Hornets starter jacket. Nope, you didn't have to be a Charlotte Hornets fan. Everybody just had that jacket for some reason. It's not even in existence anymore.
Look at that. I remember the Fred Durst, New York Yankees baseball cap worn backwards.
Baseball caps,
that was one that everybody had.
The red one?
Yeah, the red one.
Yeah, everybody kept rolling, and they wanted to break stuff with it on. So
those were good times.
When times were good, yeah. Well, let's sort of round this out with our pre-ending ceremony. Eddie, let's start with you. Who is your MVP of this movie?
The MVP for me, I'm gonna have to go again with Brad Dourif.
Oh wow! All right.
I'm pulling that one out of the hat. I thought it was so brilliant that they had not only because of the Chucky tie-in, but the Billy Bibbit character. I thought that was really, really cool callback. Mm-hmm. I'm a huge fan of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Okay. So to me, it was really neat to see him playing pretty much the same role that he played when his career got started.
Wow. All right. Jack Nicholson in there too, huh?
Oh yeah. Yeah. That one's another great one.
Classical movie. Ryan, who is your MVP of this movie?
I'm going to have to say Jared Leto. I'm just a fan of him in general. I actually knew him in 30 Seconds to Mars first before I knew him as an actor.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I've always liked him, but I liked his role in this movie. He was like kind of the de facto detective being at the newspaper. So I liked his role in this and what he brought to the table.
Non-creepy Jared Leto. Like when he wants to be non-creepy, he's a little asshole in this movie though. Like I will tell you that, like he's like trying to ask this homegirl questions and he's like, it's about the investigation. The newspaper deserves it. And she's just like, I'm grieving. Please leave me alone.
I know that this is a really bad time for you, but I gotta ask you a couple of questions.
Oh no, I'm not doing any interviews.
And then he ends up kissing her and you're like, what's wrong with you? Like, you're weird, bro. Like, You're just real weird. But no, he was good in this movie. I think he sold himself as a good character, also as a good red herring in the movie, because you're like, where'd you just come from? And why you want to know so much information? Stop asking questions. So my MVP of this movie, and I gave it away a little bit earlier, but it's Loretta Devine, man. She just brings, for me, she's the audience. She's like goofy sometimes, like when she's like going into the dean's office right now and it's at night. She's got a flashlight and she gets a jump scare by the janitor. She finds the blood. Like she's trying to call the cops. She's like, we need y'all. And they're like, well, we're busy. And she's just like, what the fuck? Like, I have to go take care of things now. She reminds me of, you've seen Get Out, right?
Yeah.
What's his name? The friend who comes in, the TSA agent.
Yeah.
She's kind of that role, like of us being like, go help. You got a gun. Go help these people. They need help. They're going to die.
Put your hands up. Get up against the wall. You loony psycho bitch.
And she comes in and she sort of like kind of saves the day, So I think she's just a fun character, and what a fun role for her when she's usually drama gal. We know from a lot of drama roles, your Grey's Anatomy and all kind of like drama movies along the way. So yeah, for me, all those reasons, funny lines, funny delivery, Loretta Devine is my MVP. Fellas, we have reached that time as we land the plane where if people want something other than larceny, you guys know what to do. What is each one of y'all's expert whiskey pick to pair with this movie?
All right. Well, I am excited about this one. All right. So I will go first. Mine, I actually have it right over here. And it's a pretty hard bottle to find. The name is perfect for this movie.
Ooh.
It cost about $150 right now, MSRP.
Okay.
And it is, to me, an incredible and complex drink. We got ourselves Blood Oath.
Ooh.
Packed 11, which is finished in tequila barrels.
Whoa.
And it is incredible.
Why does that pair well with this movie?
Well, I mean, the name Blood Oath, I think, says a lot.
Okay.
And
good obvious right there. All right.
Yeah, right. So if you're gonna go for like a horror movie, I think Blood Oath would be perfect. I also feel like the movie lends itself to some of those flavors. The flavors that you get from the Blood Oath, you're gonna get a little bit of the oak and the vanilla, but then it's gonna kind of finish out with those agave notes. You could get a little bit of the saltiness even there, even though agave is sweet. Mm-hmm. There are some salty notes in this whiskey, so it's incredibly complex. I really enjoyed it. It has a long finish. This one is I think that because of that complexity, you get to enjoy it as you're watching Rebecca Gayheart just chewing scenery and having a great time.
Fantastic. And Blood Oath too. She made a blood oath with her boyfriend to apparently go ahead and kill all these people. So exactly. I kind of like the tie-in right there. Ryan, what is your expert whiskey pick for this movie?
So my expert whiskey pick is going to be Joseph Magnus Cigar Blend.
Woo!
Now, the reason I went with this one, a couple of reasons. One is cigar blends are very popular right now. Mm-hmm. And usually all that means is that it's finished in either a cognac or in an Armagnac barrel, sometimes both. Mm-hmm. This one's finished in both and a sherry barrel as well.
Oh.
But the reason I went with cigar blend is for these types of movies, who doesn't love just kicking back, having a cigar, and watching a bunch of stupid people die?
Let's cut to a clip of somebody dying right now. Yeah, that's a great. And usually the thing that I found with cigar blends are they're powerful, right? They got some proofies. They got some proofies on them, don't they? Mm-hmm. Just to stand out amongst cigars, right?
Yeah, this one's coming in just over 110 proof, and MSRP on this is about $200.
Ooh, all right. Well, people out there, you know what to do. You've got your choice of whiskey picks. See which one you can find. See if you can, for the real whiskey. If you're a real whiskey fan, hey, zoom in right now. I'm going to zoom in on myself. If you're a real whiskey fan, go ahead and find both of these. See if you can add that in your collection. Report back though. Let us know how either one of these expert picks pair with this movie or how larceny pairs with this movie. Write it in the comments if you have your own expert whiskey pick that you have, or your own pick for this movie. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Ryan, Eddie, it has been such a blast talking whiskey and talking about this crazy 90s slasher whodunit movie. I've had a blast. You know what time it is if you've tuned in. Go ahead, take over my show, and let people know where they can find you, what you guys are doing. Just go ahead and shout yourselves out. I'm going to step back. I'm going to just be right over here sipping whiskey.
There you go.
All right. So we are Ryan and Eddie. We are the Barrel Hunters. We primarily do YouTube videos. We focus on all things whiskey, whether it's bottle reviews or tier lists or distillery visits. You can primarily find us there, and also on Instagram, TikTok, and X.
Nice. All right. Well, if you guys are going to go ahead and follow them, why don't you feel free to follow the show? Click like, click subscribe on Nerds at Night, home of whiskey and a mystery. You can go ahead and follow us on X and Instagram. And while you're there, following everybody, since you're already there, go ahead and follow me, Money Blakeweather, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. I would love to hear from all of y'all. Let me know in the comments what murder mystery you'd love to see on this show. And I'll go ahead and pair a guest with it, and they'll pair a whiskey, and we'll have us a fun episode. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Hopefully you got some good whiskey knowledge and whiskey picks. I want to thank everybody for tuning in, loving the show, all the likes, all the comments, all that good stuff. Thank y'all so much. And as usual, whether it's morning, evening, afternoon, whatever time you're listening to this, I do appreciate you. And until the next case, I will see you. Peace.
Cheers.
Cheers.